shining brightly, peanuts dripping lightly, while the music plays. Madness in the guise of gladness, overcoming sadness in a million ways. Oh, keep and real what you've done to me. I walk along the street of sorrow, the boulevard of broken dreams, where gigolo and gigolette can take a kiss without regret, so they forget their broken dreams. You laugh tonight and cry tomorrow, when you behold your shattered schemes. And gigolo and gigolette wake up to find their eyes are wet with tears that tell of broken dreams. Here is where you'll always find me, always walking up and down. But I left my soul behind me in an old cathedral town. The joy that you find here you borrow, you cannot keep it long, it seems. But gigolo and gigolette still sing a song and dance along the boulevard of broken dreams.
Until 11:30, you're with Nostalgia Unlimited on Community Radio 3CR, 855 on the dial. Frank Gregory presents Swing and Sway every Saturday afternoon on 3CR. Yes, for the brightest and best in swing and sway music, tune to Frank Gregory, Saturday afternoons between 1:30 and 2:30 on 3CR, 855 on the dial. And don't forget, next week, Bill Bennett will be here along with Jeff Lasbury to present Nostalgia Unlimited.
And what are they doing in Collector's Corner?
Now, I heard Bill mention last week that I understand they're doing another program in that series of the greatest hits of the century, where he started at A and he's working his way through.
Right.
And I think he's up to B. Yes. I can see a hand in the air over there.
Alex, I just thought I'd make mention, talking about Collector's Corner,
yes,
that in your next program we'll be paying a tribute to Jack Davey.
Oh yes, that'll be great.
Excellent. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, because it'll only be a couple of days before the anniversary of his death.
Yes, that's right.
So that'll be
nice. We'll look forward to that.
Appropriate.
All right.
Well, we're painting the clouds with sunshine.
Are we?
Yeah. Len Maurice is coming back. We had Len earlier, didn't we?
We did.
And this song from the 1929 film The Gold Diggers of Broadway. Len is accompanied by an orchestra. And now, Jamie, do you know who this is? Recorded in November 1929?
Yeah, Gil Dick.
Gil Dick again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gil Dick and his syncopators.
Oh, Gil must have recorded for everybody at Homebush in those days,
He
didn't
backed a lot of people.
He was the A&R man for Columbia in those days. In
Yes.
other words,
Was he?
you know, he
Artist
was...
and repertoire.
Yes, that's right.
And didn't, on some labels, he call himself Gilbert?
Yeah, Gilbert Deschalette was his
Gilbert
actual
Dick,
real name.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Gil Dick is a...
They were mainly with his classical pieces.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And
right.
otherwise, he was known as Gil Dick.
Gil Dick.
Gil Dick. And then we're going to have Keep on the Bright Side, a bright foxtrot from Jim Davidson and his new Palais Royal Orchestra, and the Rhythm Boys do the vocal on this side, which was recorded in July 1933, once again up in Sydney. They must have been busy up in that Homebush studio.
In those days, but first of all, Len Maurice.
This life's a play from the start. It's hard to play through a part when there's an ache in your heart all day. I have my dreams till the dawn. I wake to find they are gone, but still the play must go on, they say. When I pretend I'm gay, I never feel that way. I'm only painting the clouds with sunshine. When I hold back a tear to make a smile appear, I'm only painting the clouds with sunshine. Painting the blues, beautiful hues, colored with gold and old rose. Playing the clown, trying to drown all of my woes. Though things may not look bright, they'll all turn out alright if I keep painting the clouds with sunshine. Each cloud you have on your mind, you'll find can be silver-lined if you'll just make up your mind to smile. Though I may fret, I'll admit, you'll hear me laugh quite a bit, if only just for a little while. Painting the blues, beautiful hues, colored with gold and old rose. Playing the clown, trying to drown all of my woes. Though things may not look bright, they'll all turn out alright if I keep painting the clouds with sunshine.
right one?
Good one. Shirley and Charlie enjoyed it, and they're enjoying the program. And they send all the best to us and best wishes to Roma and John.
We do appreciate your phone calls. If you're enjoying the program, just give us a call, 419-8377. Or if you'd like to become a listener sponsor, we'll certainly send you out an application form, and we do appreciate all those calls. Frank Gregory rang in, and I like Frank's program on a Saturday afternoon.
It's always good.
It's a good show, Frank.
Yep.
And next week, I heard them mention yesterday that Tim Harding, and Frank's just enlightened us further, that Tim will be a guest on Swing and Sway.
Well, it should be.
Next Saturday. Unfortunately, I won't hear it, but because I'm winging my way to the States for a couple of weeks.
Oh, right.
I'll leave next Saturday. But all the best for the program next week, boys.
I'll give you a report on it, Alex.
Will you?
Yeah.
Good. Someone might run a tape over it for me.
I'll send you a fax. Hustling Hinkler. We've already had a tribute to Amy Johnson tonight, so why not have one of Australia's own, Bert Hinkler. Hustling Hinkler was recorded by both Len Maurice, who we've heard twice tonight, and Fred Monument. And it's the latter version we hear tonight. Fred recorded this in March 1928.
And then we're going to have a little bit of Latin American. The Wedding Samba is played by Ernesto Ritez, who I actually think was Ernest Ritt.
Oh, yes, of course, that stands out.
Yes, and his orchestra with a tune which was featured in the MGM movie On an Island with You. And the film starred Esther Williams, Peter Lawford and Jimmy Durante. It was made in the late 1940s. But firstly, here's
Hustling
Hinkler.
From coast to coast we all can boast and sing a toast to one who's made a name for being game. He was born with wings as fine as any bird that flies. A lucky star guide him afar. Hustling a Hinkler up in the sky, where all windy he's flying high. Fearless, knows every cloud. The kind of the sun makes a mother feel proud. Hustling a Hinkler right all alone, in a little plain all his own. Hustling a Hinkler, show them the way, and he's the hero of the day. This Aussie son set out for fun, he had no thought of fear, and now he's home from all the foam. The whole world's mighty proud of him, as proud as it can be, and now he's here. Let's give a cheer. Hustling a Hinkler up in the sky, fair or windy, he's flying high. Fearless, knows every cloud. The kind of the sun makes a mother feel proud. Hustling a Hinkler right all alone, in a little plain all his own. Hustling a Hinkler, show them the way, and he's a hero of the day. Hinkler rides all alone, in a little plain all his own. Hustling a Hinkler, show them the way, and he's the hero of the day.
buffet when the stars are on a holiday and they have killed a fatted cow. Chiquita and Pedro have wrote about this holiday. They're gonna take the marriage vow. And soon the band will play a samba that's only played whenever couples they're wed. And all will dance the wedding samba until the rising sun will send them off to bed. It's hotter than hot there, but still the wedding samba goes on and hearts are so sublime. And if you were not there to dance the wedding samba, you'll miss a real terrific time. And soon the band will play a samba. And all will dance the wedding samba. It's hotter than hot there, but still the wedding samba goes on and hearts are so sublime. And if you were not there to dance the wedding samba, you'll miss a real terrific time. And if you miss the wedding samba, you're gonna miss a real terrific time.
The Wedding Samba. And the time is 11 minutes to 11 on Nostalgia Unlimited. And you're listening to Jamie Kelly and Les Egan and Alex Hehr all throwing in a bit here and giving you a darn good Australian program.
It is a good night. I hope the people up in Sydney are very happy with this.
We've had a lot of variety and a lot of good Australian material. And don't forget that John Ferguson will be back doing the program in a fortnight's time.
With your very good self.
With my very good self. And I am very good, aren't I, Alex?
You are.
You must admit.
Pleasure to work with.
Absolutely. And Long Ago and Far Away, the lovely Jerome Kern composition. Jerome Kern and George Gershwin. No, I think just Jerome Kern.
Was it?
Yes.
It's Gershwin on the record, but who am I?
No, I think Jerome Kern...
Might have had it on his own.
Yes, I think
Maybe
so.
it's not credited correctly.
I think. But Al Royal comes back to the program, and George Trevere once again provides the backing with this August 1944 record. And then...
That'll be nice. And then we're going to hear The Changing of the Guard, the Australian Basso Supreme, Malcolm McEachern, with the patriotic tune Changing of the Guard. This was written by McEachern and his one-time singing partner B.C. Hilliam, and they were collectively known as Flotsam and Jetsam.
Oh, that
was B.C. Hilliam.
True name, was it?
And Malcolm McEachern. And they recorded this in London in 1931. But firstly, here's Al Royal and a lovely song, Long Ago and Far Away.
ago and far away, I dreamed a dream one day, and now that dream is here beside me. Long the skies were overcast, but now the clouds have passed. You're here at last. Chills run up and down my spine. Aladdin's lamp is mine. The dream I dreamed was not denied me. Just one look and then I knew that all I longed for long ago was you.
Coming to London, when you come to London, I tell you what to do. Go down the streets, take in the treats, do all the usual things. And if your spouse is fond of houses, why not show her the king? Go down the Mall to Buckingham Palace, and there you'll see the changing of the guard. Stand maybe within the palace yard, and if your plea to enter fails, you press your noses to the rails and watch from there the changing of the guard. The beat of the drum, a touch of pride and pomp on every hand, a sharp staccato word of command. Behold, behold the changing of the guard. Fancy that's the king's home, wonder if the king's home. Ask him if the king's home, or ask a fellow yourself. The king's away at Windsor, or Sandringham I fear, but where he is they're changing guard, the very same as here. By which I mean at Buckingham Palace, where you can see the changing of the guard. Stand maybe within the palace yard, or swell the crowd around the gate that daily come to contemplate, to celebrate the changing of the guard. Observe the style of rank and file, the army drum supplies a regular beat to manly tramp of marching feet. Behold, behold the changing of the guard. Changing of the guard, and maybe within the palace yard, the royal standard in the breeze will tell you if their majesties are watching for the changing of the guard. The column streams to flash your steel, they march away the ceremonial end, but don't forget to tell your friends you've seen the changing of the guard.
5.5 minutes to 11 o'clock at 3CR Community Radio, and that was The Changing of the Guard. It was my grandmother's favourite record.
I think it might have been a lot of grandmother's favourite record, that one.
It was a good one.
Yeah. Well, what have you got to tell us there?
Well, we've got Johnny McMahon coming up now, but before we play, we're going to play a recording called Everybody every payday, which was brought out during the war to get people to chip in and buy a bond and all this sort of thing. And they had the same thing in America, and Bing Crosby did it over there.
That's right.
But before that, Jamie and I have this copy of this old commercial. Tell them about this commercial.
Well, John McMahon didn't record too many singing commercials, Alex. This one goes back to probably the late 1950s, was written by Jack O'Hagan, but never was used for some reason. It was recorded, but it's an interesting example of Johnny McMahon singing this jingle for Fiat tractors. And as I said, the interesting thing about it was that it was written by Jack O'Hagan.
Jack O'Hagan, and it was never used.
It was never used.
So let's have a listen to Johnny McMahon. This had been the 50s sometime.
Late 50s, yes.
And just a little singing jingle. Here we go.
Here's the world's best tractor value. Here's the world's best money's worth. It's the new Factotum tractor, finest tractor bar on earth. Cost you hundreds less to buy it. It's a pocket Hercules. Drive it once and you will find it handles every job with ease. It can do everything. And I mean everything. What's its name? Factotum. Fiat Factotum. Harrowing or cultivating, scarifying, excavating, tilling, epic filling, pasture renovating too. Plowing or mowing, every farming job that's going, it can handle every single job on earth you want to do. It can do everything. And I mean everything. What's its name? Factotum. Fiat Factotum. Factotum.
Well, there you are.
Gee whiz.
Johnny McMahon singing all about the tractors, and I don't think they ever came out here. Never saw a
Yes,
Factotum
there were
tractor.
other commercials
Were there?
recorded for Fiat. Yes, tractors, but for some reason that one just never was used.
Well, that's a very rare piece of Australian or Melbourne radio.
Indeed, and Maureen and I were doing a nice square dance. Did you notice us there in the corner there?
Yes, you
And
were.
that actually came from the O'Brien publicity advertising agency.
Ah,
Oh,
Yeah.
O'Brien's, yes, I know.
yes,
O'Brien's,
yes.
yeah.
All right, 41-42, I think.
41. So,
Oh, before you
Yes,
do that, a chappie rang in, anonymous from Blackburn, and
Well, it wasn't me because I'm here.
yeah, and said it was an excellent Australian program, very, very good. So thank you very much, sir, for that.
and so too did Kathleen of Oakley. She thinks it's a terrific program and sends her best wishes to Roma. So Roma must know Kathleen, I
She
presume.
must do. It's 2 minutes to 11, and now we'll proceed.
Proceed with Everybody, Every Payday.
Yeah, yes.
Melbourne's own Johnny McMahon with Bob Gibson and his orchestra, and the wartime recording just to stir the patriotic blood. And Johnny recorded this in Sydney in 1942.
And then Jeff Brooks coming back to the show with a nice song that he recorded in 1946 with Wilbur Kentville yet again on the organ.
Yep.
And this is called When We Meet Again. But I think we'll firstly,
Have Johnny.
we will.
Everyone can help to save the nation. Everyone can help to win the war. There's no time for resting. Let's begin investing in the things our country's fighting for. Everybody, every payday, buy a bond, the Aussie ways say. That's a job that's up to you and me. Butcher, baker, banker, scholar, save above from every dollar. Everyone must work for victory. Everybody, every payday, every farmer, every heyday, empty out your pockets for the loan. Do your share, see you spare a bit from every pay in the good old Australian way. Everybody, every payday, buy a bond the Aussie way, say, that's a job that's up to you and me. Butcher, baker, banker, scholar, save a bob from every dollar. Everyone must work for victory. Everybody, every payday, every farmer, every heyday, empty out your pockets for the Lord. Do your share, see you spare a bit from every pay in the good old Australian way.
While we are apart, is time on my side, or does it play a waiting game? Does absence make the heart grow fonder, as people say? Don't tell me now, I'll find it out someday. When we meet again, will we seem the same? When we meet again, will you remember me? Will all our dreams come true, or will they fade? Will you have changed at all from what you used to be? Maybe your love will be as strong, and then your arms will stay where they belong. When we kiss again, you'll give me your answer then. I'll know it when we meet again. Again, you give me your answer then. I'll know it when we meet again.
Well, a little while back we had an anonymous caller from Blackburn who was asking, did Bert Howell ever make a record? Well, indeed he did, and just by sheer coincidence, Anonymous of Blackburn, we have one here tonight, and it's a nice one too. It's Bert Howell and his show band, and the Aussies and the Yanks are here. So
yeah, so that was lucky that was on the log,
Yeah.
being an Australian piece of music. And now I'm following you, a song from the film It's a Great Life, and this features Des Tooley once again, making a welcome return, with the backing provided by Beryl Newell, Frank Coughlin and Cliff Clark. And this was recorded in Sydney in February 1930. But firstly, Bert Howell.
fields are now in clover, days of worry now are over. You can think about your taxes, but don't worry about the axes. All the world is gonna see the greatest remedy. We're all together now as we never were before. The Aussies and the Yanks show we're gonna win the war. And now throughout the ranks everyone can give their thanks, 'cause the Aussies and the Yanks are here. We're all together now and we'll soon be on the go, and marching side by side from Berlin to Tokyo. We'll never give an inch and it's gonna be a cinch, 'cause the Aussies and the Yanks are here. We'll stand friend to friend and we'll fight to the end, no matter where we'll be. We'll always give and take and we will never break until the world is free. And we will show the world something they have never seen. We're gonna fight again like they did in 17. They'll soon be blowing caps over the Nazis and the Japs, 'cause the Aussies and the Yanks are here.
Going away, you think that I'll be lonely, just as sad and blue as I can be. I'll say if you're going away, I've just an idea, only don't think you'll ever get rid of me. Wherever you go, whatever you do, I want you to know I'm following you. Whatever you climb or tumble into, why all of the time I'm following you. The battle won't be half so hard if you've someone to share it. I'll gladly carry half the load, and what's more, grin and bear it. You're part of my heart. You know that it's true. Whenever you start, I'm following you. Won't be half so hard if you've someone to share it. I'll gladly carry half the load, and what's more, grin and bear it. You're part of my heart. You know that it's true. Whenever you start, I'm following you.
And that was Des Tooley, and I'm following you. Thank you to Paul from Baronia who rang in to say he's enjoying the show and reminded me that you pronounce Gildesh, not Gildek. Yes, I realise that, but one falls into bad habits rather easily.
Thank you, Jamie.
Well, Paul, you've taught me something, because I always say Gildek, but now I realise it's Gildesh.
Actually, it's French, Gilbert Deschalette.
That's his name.
Yeah. 11.5 past 11 now on Nostalgia Unlimited. You've got Alex Hehr, you've got Les Egan, you've got Jamie Kelly over there, who's remained in the studio after presenting a very nice Collector's Corner.
And it's nice to have Jamie in the studio too.
Well, I've enjoyed it so much that I'm here till 11:30.
Terrific.
We all are, Jamie. We're trapped.
Well, it's 12 minutes past, so we're
trapped until Zorba the Greek at 11:30.
That's it.
Nick Lupus.
Mm-hmm.
Riviera Dreams. Here's Graham Bell and his Australian jazz band with a recording they made in Sydney on April the 23rd, 1952. Riviera Dreams was composed by his brother Roger.
And then Along the Road to Gundagai. What would an Australian program be without that particular song? A typical Jack O'Hagan composition. It was recorded for Regal Zonophone in June 1938 by Jim Davidson's Dandies, and Melbourne radio listeners to 3DB will recognise the voice of the late Dick Cranbourne on vocals. But firstly, here's Riviera Dreams.
flowing beneath the sunny sky, where my daddy and mother are waiting for me, and the pals of my childhood once more I will see. Then no more will I roam when I'm heading right for home along the road to Gundagai.
Hello, old-timer. How's things? They're pretty crook. Things must be pretty crook round these parts, mate. What with no rain for your stock and them all dying, you must be having a pretty crook trot. But you ain't got it all on your own, blimey no. The other day I asked a bloke if he had any old clothes he didn't want. Spruced, he took a look at me and said, ain't them you got on old enough? Yes, things is pretty crook, all right. I knocked on a bloke's door the other day, and when the missus comes out, I gets down on me hands and knees and started eating the grass. I said, Missus, I'm not hungry, I'll eat grass. She said, you poor man, go round the back, it's much longer. Yes, things is crook, all right. Well, suppose I'd better be jogging along. Hooray, mate, hooray. I'll see you again.
Calling in the cows.
We couldn't have had an Australian program without that one, could we?
No.
Bill Norris is enjoying the program, and he said it's a darn good program, enjoying it.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. There's a lot of work goes into an all-Aussie
It
program.
sure does.
A lot of preparation.
And it's been a good one.
It's 18 and a half minutes past 11 now on Nostalgia Unlimited.
And you brought a new kind of love to me.
Ah.
George Sawley. My brother-in-law was an entertainer, and he was with Sawley's for some time.
Oh, really? They had a tent...
show.
Yes.
Tent show, wasn't it?
Yes. He travelled around all over New South Wales, I think, and Queensland. But George Sawley is now going to sing something that we normally associate with Maurice Chevalier. Sawley was of West Indian extraction and was quite popular on the music scene in Sydney in the 20s. And he recorded a great number of sides for Parlophone and Regal Zonophone, and this is one of them. This comes from a session in November 1930.
And then the song is You Brought a New Kind of Love to Me, and then we're going to hear the Martins and the Coys from the late Tex...
Robert Dyer, no?
No, the late Tex Morton.
That's what I thought too, not Bob Dyer.
Morton, whose real name was Robert Lane, came to Australia from New Zealand in 1932 and recorded this in July 1938 in Sydney. And Bob Dyer had a song about 4 years later, the young'uns of the Martins and the Coys, but this was the actual Martins and the Coys. And so we'll hear that after we've heard from George Sawley and You Brought a New Kind of Love to Me.
Sweet one, fairer than the flowers, never will I meet one sweeter than you. Would you turn away, or could you really learn to care if I ever dare to say I love you? If the nightingales could sing like you, they'd sing much sweeter than they do, for you brought a new kind of love to me. If the Sandman brought me dreams of you, I'd want to sleep my whole life through, for you brought a new kind of love to me. I know that I'm the slave, you're the queen, but still you can understand that underneath it all, you're a maid and I'm only a man. I would work and slave the whole day through if I could hurry home to you, for you brought a new kind of love to me. I know that I'm a slave, you're the queen, but still you can understand that underneath it all, you're a maid and I am only a man. I would work and slave the whole day through if I could hurry home to you, for you brought a new kind of love to me.
Now gather round and I'll tell you all the story of the mountains in the days when guns was long, when two families got disputing, it was bound to end in shooting. So gather round and I'll tell you what I saw. All the Martins and the Coys, they was reckless mountain boys, and they took up family feuding when they'd meet. Why, they shoot each other quicker than it takes your eye to flicker. They'd knock a squirrel's eye out at 90 feet. All their fighting started one bright Sunday morning, when old Grandpa Coy was full of Mountain Dew. Just as quiet as a church mouse, he stole in the Martins' hen house, 'cause the Coys needed eggs for breakfast too. Old Martins and the Coys, they was reckless mountain boys, but old Grandpa Coy has gone where angels live. When they found him on the mountain, he was bleeding like a fountain. They punctured him till he looked like a sieve. After that they started in to fight in earnest, and they plowed the mountain up with shot and shell. There was uncles, brothers, cousins, why they bumped them off in dozens. Just how many bit the dust is hard to tell. All the Martins and the Coys, they was reckless mountain boys. At the art of killing they became quite deft. They all know they shouldn't do it, but before they hardly knew it, on each side they only had one person left. Now the sole remaining Martin was a maiden, and as pretty as a picture was this Grace, while the one and only boy was the handsome Henry Coy, and the folks all knew they'd soon meet face to face. All the Martins and the Coys, they was reckless mountain boys, and their shooting and their killing sure played hop. And it didn't bring no joy to know that Grace and Henry Coy, they both had sworn they would finish off the job. Then they finally met upon a mountain pathway, and Henry Coy, he aimed his gun at Grace. He was set to pull the trigger when he saw her pretty figure. You could see that love had kicked him in the face. All the Martins and the Coys, they was reckless mountain boys. They say their ghostly cussing gives you chills, 'cause that hatchet show's buried when sweet Grace and Henry married. Broke up the best darn feud in these here hills. You may think that this is where the story ended, but I'm telling you, them ghosts don't cuss no more. 'Cause since Grace and Henry wedded, they fight worse than all the rest did. They carry on the feud just like before.
Well, the Martins and the Coys, I think that was just about our last number in Nostalgia Unlimited for tonight.
It was, I think. That was Tex Morton.
Yep, and I think we've had a very good night.
We have had a very good night.
And we've enjoyed Jamie's Collector's Corner and Jamie's company.
Well, I want to say thank you very much, Jamie, because it was an absolute delight having you in tonight, and I enjoyed very much the Jeff Brooks special.
Thank you to you, Alex and Les, for inviting me in to particularly present Collector's Corner. And I look forward to coming back in a month's time and presenting another Collector's Corner where we'll be paying tribute to Jack Davey.
That'll be on the 10th of October from memory.
10th of October.
And next week you've got Bill Bennett along with Jeff Lasbury, who will be doing another great nostalgia
That's right.
program with Collector's Corner at 9.
And then I'll be back with John Ferguson in a fortnight's time. And this is Les Egan saying goodnight to Alex and Jamie.
And this is Alex saying goodnight to Jamie and Les.
And this is he's saying good. What do the two Ronnies say?
And it's good night from him.
It's good night from me to all the listeners, and thanks again for having me on Nostalgia Unlimited.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Sweetheart, everybody sings. You'll hear it any place you go. We think that it is wrong, and so we've made a song that says good night to everyone we know. Good night, everyone, you've earned your daily bread. Don't be late in the morning, good night, and so to bed. Good night to all the sailors who sail upon the foam. If you've a wife in every port, where is your home, sweet home? Good night to all the soldiers, we hope you're feeling bright.